Hey guys, I'm Glitter Valkyrie, and today we're going to summon on the Beyond Control banner. Every single year that we have a Fallen banner, I always hope that we're going to see Fallen Ninian, and this year my wish finally came true. So I am super excited to pull for her today, and we will talk about these other characters as we go along, but I just want to get to pulling, so let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so I don't have a super great plan for what we're going to do today, but I do know that we will pull every single blue that we see because Ninian is definitely top priority. I've talked about her several different times in previous videos, but she is one of my favorite characters from FE7. I loved her when I played as a kid, and I'm also someone who's super reliant on dancers, so I have to get this version of Ninian. Really every version of Ninian that we see in the game, I'm going to want to pull. And I'm actually kind of scared because I have a very bad track record of pulling any form of Ninian. Like when we got her Halloween alt with Tiki, I think that I got like 7 pity breakers. So I'm really hoping that we don't have that experience today. But now we do have the Spark, and if we get to 40 and we don't get anything, we will definitely take her. But I'm really hoping that it won't come to that. But I think they did an amazing job with this alt. I think that the art is so incredibly beautiful, and it is one of my favorite artists with Confusi Kokon. So I'm really happy with everything about her. And in addition to her, there is another character that I do want to get on this banner, Rhea. And I have talked about Rhea in some previous videos. She is a character that I actually really do enjoy. I am a member of Team Church, and I'm not going to apologize for it. And I get that people don't like her, and I understand why, but she is a character that is actually sympathetic to me. I feel like she just wants her mom, and that's understandable. And I just feel really bad for this Fallen alt. I think that the art is absolutely fantastic, and she's going to be super strong, so I really do want to get her too. So those two are definitely the priority, but I will pull some reds just because I really wouldn't mind a copy of Lilith. I definitely prefer her non-purple form, but the fodder is really good, so if we get her, I will be super happy too. But we also have, oh my goodness, that is Ophelia. I am so excited to see her. I'm actually merging mine up, so that's really good, and that art is absolutely amazing. Okay, let's check IVs. And she is minus speed, but that'll be a merge, so that's amazing. And I think that the only character that I did not have the chance to talk about before Ophelia was Gustav, and that is fine because I honestly do not have too much to say. I do not want him. I think that he has some very good skills, but unless we get a circle full of greens, I will not be pulling for him. So I guess that really does cover everybody on the banner, so we can probably go ahead and answer our viewer questions now. And as always, if I did not get your question, I am so sorry. I will try to answer it in a future one. And if you think of a question you want to ask me, just leave it in the comments with #question, and I will put your question on my list. So our first question today comes from Tama Misaki, and they ask, do you think that you would ever play Honkai Impact? So I actually have downloaded the game, and I played for like 20 minutes, and then I decided that it was really not for me. And it's for a super silly reason, but it's really because you cannot pull any husbandos. And I feel like with Genshin Impact, it's one of the few gachas that really caters to my demographic. And by caters, I mean like they give me husbandos to pull for. And you just don't have that in Honkai. And while I think that the graphics are really nice, I don't think it's the game for me. But I am interested in Star Rail whenever it comes out. I think that that's going to be really cool. But thank you for that. Oh my goodness, that is Shinon. You know what? That is Deadeye, so I am not going to complain. Okay, let's check IVs. And he is plus attack. We will take that. So thank you, Tama Misaki, for that very lucky question. Okay, so let's go ahead and answer our next one, and this comes from Sploonique250. And they ask, now that it's been revealed that Shez will be the protagonist of Three Hopes, what are your early impressions of the character? And how about the redesigns of returning characters such as Dedue, Hilda, and Lorenz? Okay, so I hope that I don't break any hearts when I talk about this, but I do not like the design for Shez one bit. As soon as I saw it, I said, no, that hair is way too purple, and I do not want to play as them. So did not enjoy that design at all, but if you like them, congratulations. I am so happy for you and all that purple hair. But yeah, that's kind of how I feel about Shez. But as for the other characters that got the redesigns, there are some that I think that are absolutely amazing. I love what they did with Dedue. I love the facial hair, it looks super amazing. And while I was like not sure initially about Hilda, I think that I do like her design quite a bit. And as for Lorenz, I mean, oh my goodness. Oh my gosh, we got Ninian. I'm so excited to see her. That art is so incredibly perfect. Okay, let's check IVs. And she is minus attack, but I don't care. I love her anyway. And we will still pull every blue that we see because I would love to get a merge. But getting back to this very lucky question from Splunique, as for Lorenz, I mean, it's Lorenz. I really don't care. But there are some that I think were really, really good. I think that all of the lords have really good designs, especially Claude. But I really like Dimitri as well. And overall, I'm really excited to see all the characters at the end of the day when we get the game. But thank you again for that very lucky question. And we get an Obero. All right, so let's pull this next to blue and we can answer another one. And this comes from Exalt. And they ask, will you be pulling for Yelan and Kuki Shinobu in Genshin Impact? So even with the delay that we have coming up, I do not think that I will be pulling for either one. As for Yelan, I have so many really good Hydro units as it is, and her design is nice, but is not really for me, so I think that I will pass on her. And as for Kuki Shinobu, she is a healer, and that immediately has value for me as a healer main, especially with her being Electro. But I have this feeling that Kazuha is going to come back, and he's the one character that I regret not pulling for. So I feel like I kind of have to save right now, so hopefully I can get her when she comes back at another point. So as for right now, kind of sort of in saving mode, but hopefully I can get her in the future. But thank you for that great question. And our next question that we have today comes from Varskaria44, and they ask, what are your thoughts on Resplendent Saber? So I was so happy when I saw Resplendent Saber because I think that he's a character that a lot of people don't have, and he is voiced by the wonderful Keith Silverstein, one of my favorite voice actors, so I was super, super happy to see him. I was really also happy to get a merge for mine, and I have been disappointed with a lot of the Resplendents that we've had as of late, but he was one that I was very, very happy to see. But thank you for that great question. And we get a Lachesis. Okay, so we'll pull this next red and we will answer another one. And this next question comes from Starflame34. And they ask, what do you think of the characters of Fischl and Amber in Genshin Impact? And do you think that Amber needs a buff? So for both of the characters, they are characters that I like they're not at the top of my favorite list, but I do like them both. And as for Amber, I do think that she deserves a buff because I feel like she's supposed to be important. She's part of Mondstadt. She's one of the first characters that you meet. And I would love to be able to use her more because I do like her. So yes, I do think that she deserves a buff in the future. But thank you for that great question. And let's go ahead and answer our next one. And this comes from Daniel Nunez. And they ask, you mentioned that you don't like Melkorn due to his silly hair. But how would you feel if we got alternate hairstyles for him and other characters? Also, would you summon for them? Except for Claude because that is obvious. You know what? You are absolutely right. No matter what Claude they gave me, they could put a bag over his head. But if it were Claude, I would pull for him. But for characters whose hair that I don't like, I really would say that it depends on the character because I feel like my opinion is kind of cemented kind of as it is. But if it were a character with a really new, amazing redesign, maybe I would pull for them. But I feel like it would be on a character by character basis. But thank you for that great question. And let's go ahead and answer our next one. And this comes from Fear the Deer. And they ask, do you think that with 3 Hopes releasing soon that we will get a promo banner like with Shez, Monica, or maybe even the redesigned Lord Trio? I absolutely think that this is going to be the case. I feel like it's a really good marketing strategy and they kind of did it with 3 houses. So it's really easy for them to put a banner with both of the Shezes and maybe some of the Lords. I could totally see them doing that. As I kind of said before, I would not be pulling for Shez unless the fodder were amazing, but if they gave me any form of Claude, I would definitely pull, and I'd probably pull for Dimitri as well. So yes, I do think that we will see that coming up in the future. But thank you for that great question. And we get a Maria. Okay, so let's back out. I know it's silly not to pull those reds, but I really want to be able to get Rhea and maybe emerge for Ninian, so I think this is what we're going to do. But let's go ahead and answer our next question, and this comes from Rid PR. And they ask, I already know that you really like Sakura, but are there any other Effie Fates Birthright characters that you really like as well? So yes, that is true. Sakura is my favorite character from Birthright. I absolutely love her, but there are a few other ones that I really do enjoy. I also really love Orochi, actually. She is plus 10 for me in Fae. I just think she's a really cool character, and I wish that I could use her in Conquest. And I think the other character that would fall into that category would be Ryoma. I actually do like him in Conquest, and I think that he is a complex character that I do enjoy. So while he's not on the same level as Sakura, I do like him too. But thank you for that great question. And let's go ahead and answer our next one, and this comes from Patch and Bat. And they ask, whenever a Dozla gets added, do you think that you'll try and pull for him in Fae? Also, if you could add extra customization options for your in-game avatar, what would you want to see? Alright, so for your first question, I would pull for any form of Dozla that we got. I feel like he is the best surrogate dad in Sacred Stones. I absolutely love him, and I'd love to see him added to the regular pool. And then as for your second question about avatar customization, there are so many things that I would love to see. First of all, I would love to have like a whole palette of hair colors, and we could just choose from that with all the pre-designs. And then I'd also love to see more like long hair designs, because I feel like there are a lot of good options, but none that like absolutely fit me. And one other thing that I'd really like to see would be if we could like change the color of the summoner robes. I think that would be really fun. And if we could add like other fun details like sparkles. I would love to have a sparkly avatar. But yeah, that's what I'd love to see. But thank you for that great question. Okay, Smoke, please be Rhea. It's Priscilla. Alright, so I know it's silly, but I really want to maximize my chances of getting Rhea and emerge for Ninian. Okay, one blue. Let's hope that this is a Ninian. Okay, Smoke. And we get a Shanna. Alright, so we're at our 40, and we'll go ahead and back out. And, oh gosh, what do I do? You know what? I think that the best choice is probably to take Rhea, because I could always use a trait fruit on Ninian because she is one of my favorites, and I totally feel like it's worth it. Yay! Oh my goodness, they just did the most amazing job with her art. They fully captured her. And we get the thing. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and end things here. I got the two characters that I wanted the most, and I am so happy with how this went. I do want to wish you all the best of luck if you're pulling on this banner. I really hope that your tickets bring you everything that you are looking for. And as always, thanks so much for watching, and have a wonderful day.